All right, y'all. So we got the drain hose installed. This is the one that I'm going to get lengthened. I had this laying around. Looks like the same diameter. Not really, but I'm going to go get another one. It will finish the drain from the engine, but the interior is completely done. So now it's time to go through the rotary pot installation. Why do they call them pot? Don't know. If anybody does, let me know. That would be good to be interesting to know. So you're supposed to basically install them as so. This is basically the shroud, right? Your pot knobs, nuts, washers, and then your labels. And then you have your green, white, yellow, red, and red, red. Go into each of the switches. I call them switches. They're probably pots, I guess. And then when you get them installed, when you clip into the hose or the you clip in the wiring, you zip tie the wiring to each switch. So here's your stickers. Here's your labels that you'll use. They go on the outside, of course, of the rings where you're going to insert these from the back. And then here's your wiring. I got 4. It'd be interesting to see because I only need 3. Now I know that some vintage air kits have 4 knobs, some have 3. So I'm assuming that the 4th will just not be used. But I haven't seen in the instructions where, you know, these are, or the 4th one is being used. So we're just going to hook it up like the instructions say, and I'll tie off the other, and we'll go from there. So let me set this up. All right, y'all, so I got the stickers on, and they went on very nice, actually. They blend right in. You can see there's a hole below the big hole for the control pot, whatever you want to call it. Not sure what they're for, but I kind of used that hole to align the stickers. And the stickers are not flimsy. They're kind of a solid sticker, so they're easily to just kind of place. When you take them off of the film, I basically put my thumb on one edge and peel it off and put this finger on the other edge and then line it up accordingly and then push it down. They went on pretty well. So it says to, again, connect these to the pots switches, and then and they clip in, but they're very, very I would say fragile, maybe. Just be careful. So this is the white, green, white, and white, okay, which is the blower speed. So that's my first switch pot. So I plugged it in first, gently wrapped it around, and then zip tied it as the instructions say. So I'm going to do the next one, which is the yellow red, and that one is this one here, and this will be the mode, which is the middle switch. And the switches are identical, so they're not like different switches. You don't have to worry about that. To figure out which one goes with which. So you want this little clip on the top when you're putting it on, and this white piece that goes around the wiring will go up on top, and you just slip it in. Make sure again that you have a firm grip on it, and then just clip it in like so. Once it's clipped in, you take the wiring and you place it on the back of the switch like so. And then what I do is I'm putting they come with the tie wraps too. So I slip that through. And I don't know if you have to have it real tight, but what I do, what I am doing is I'm making sure that it doesn't overhang the board. so like your wiring doesn't come on this side of the board. Okay, the next one is the red. I think by now you guys get the idea, but just for the sake. So you're just going to line them up, push it in like so. And wrap your wiring around. Alright, so we got the 3 pots done, rotary pots. And again, there's a 4th, which I'm just going to tie off. Be right back. Alright, so the cool thing, you don't have to go hunting for the washer and the nut because they're already on the pot switch. And so I already got the blower one installed, and I found out why that there's a hole. It's a good thing because there's like a little catch that goes into the hole so that you are positioning it in the right place when you insert it from the back. So the next one is the white, yellow, red. So that's this switch. As you can see on the bottom there, that one's already in, or from the back. So this one is going to go in, and it will fit into that little hole on the shroud. And at this point, I'm only going finger tight. Probably I will snug it up with a socket. It's actually really nice that that little notch is in there. That way you can line it up to where you get the full turn one way and the back. So I'm snugging it down pretty good with my fingers, and I'm just testing it out. So it's all one way, all the other way. Pretty cool. So do the next one. You kind of hear it click into that notch. All right, so test it out. Yes, yes. So there's what it looks like from the back. Here's what it looks like from the front. And then, I'm not impressed with these knobs. They're plastic, and I just don't care for them. I know that Vintage Air sells other knobs that you can put onto here, which I'll probably upgrade at some point, but just not there yet. There is no difference between the 3, so you can go on either one. There's like a little flat piece on the shaft here, so you just line that up and you put it on. And I'm looking for a set screw. And it doesn't look like one. There is one. So you just give it a shove. just like so. Check it out. Check it out. Do the same thing on the other two. Alright, y'all, so I got it installed. And it went in fairly easily. You'll notice that I have a hole that you can kind of see at a great angle there, which, you know, nobody's going to see if you're sitting in the seat. But I will probably put something, you know, on the back of it to cover it. That way it'll at least show black and not through like a light. So, I mean, all in all, good. So remember, there's supposed to be only 3 points. This one here, actually this one, and then this one. But it says something about in the instructions to use the dash brace of the evaporator. So that's this one, which is around the garage. So it may be just different gens of the vintage air packages, whatever. But anyway, I went ahead and put 4 in. So I got this one, that one, which you can see through, and then one down here, which you can see right there. And doing so, I mean, this side is pretty sturdy. Now, keep in mind, this is plastic. This side is not, so, you know, I mean, I guess it's good enough. And I don't like seeing that gap. And again, you would not see that if you're sitting in the seat, but I can see it at this level here, and it's driving me crazy. So what I'm going to do is, and I already actually did it, drill another hole. I had another factory hole in the dash right here, so I didn't drill another hole through the dash, but I took this hole and drilled through it to put another anchor here, which will draw this area up. See that gap? It'll draw that area up, and it will support the shroud better in this area. I could have taken out, and I probably should have taken out the entire shroud to drill that hole. I'm not that way. I just put the drill up in here, and I drilled down through it. If you do it the way I just did it, be careful that you're not going to hit the wiring on the back, and I didn't. But anyway, that's where we're at. So, you know, all in all, good. Now, the next stage is to put the vents in. Actually, I got to do the other side as well, housing shroud, which is only 2 screws and bolts. May need to drill one over there. I'll go over that here in a minute. But the next stage of this section would be to put the vents in. And the vents, they come fairly well packaged. And the vents, this is what they're going to look like, which are okay. I mean, you know, it'll look fine. I'm not a big fan, but you know, it is what it is. So they want you to, the instructions say to put these in first, and then come from behind. And remember those little tabs that I told you about the ducking? These have 4 tabs. You're going to, you know, oval it again and stick it on top of this to click in from the back. What I'm going to do, I'm going to actually pull the ducking through the hole. And when I pull it through the hole, that'll give me an opportunity to go ahead and attach them and then push the vent in. That's my thinking that I'm going to do. I will test fit one of them, and then I'll video whether it works or not. Sound good? All right. All right, so it works, but it's a challenge. So I got this one in. The challenge is, you know, when you're doing your ducking, make sure you do cut enough extra to give you a little bit of leeway to work with. I had this much left of ducking. I mean, that's another 1.5 feet or so. So, you know, don't cut it just to the specs. Give yourself a little bit more. You have plenty of room behind your dash to run them. So, same concept. You got these 4 little clips here. They're going to clip in behind the steel rings. What I found that works is to not try to get 3 on one side and, you know, this way. try to just do like the first one, maybe two at the max. That way you're working with less material. And then it's just a pain, to be quite honest. But it does go on. What I do is I'm working from this side all the way up on both, on the top and the bottom, to get it around the hole. I know you can't see this, so I apologize. I'll show you once I get it on. So you can see kind of the challenge of getting it on. But there she goes. All right, so see, you see it all on. Once you get there, then you just push it. And this is for all these ducking, by the way. This is a better shot I'm showing you. But once you get it on, you move the first one up, the first circle of steel, and then you move the second one up. Same concept, you got to fit it around the shroud, but once it's over there, then you can just move it up and it goes right over those clips. I try to, I strive for 3 rings. This one's going to have 4, but the first one's cut. That's where I cut it. So right now I've got 2 on the other side, so this will be the 3rd. And you know, you're going to have to use your fingernails to get it around there, but once it's around, you can just slide it up and over the clips on the top and the bottom. Okay, so there you go. And then you know, you just kind of push you know, the rings down as you're inserting the vent coming through. Come back from behind and just help it to line up appropriately. These are plastic, y'all, so I didn't break that one. But basically you want to just line it up, and these clips that you see, there's 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom. You're supposed to push these in and line it up the best you can and start working it back like so until you hear it click. Okay, and they actually go both ways. I mean, it looks good. Make sure when you're putting the bolts through the dash that you're putting the heads down, so the bolts will come up, and then the washers will come from behind the dash down. That'll give you more room for the ducking and for the vents to go through. And it's becoming more sturdy now because it's got more support. So I'll do the next one. Okay, guys and gals, got this side done. I went ahead and also ran the wiring, as you can see right here. I got it coming up this way, going back and around. Probably can't see that, but it comes around here. I bundled it up back there, zip tied it, and brought it around here and plugged it in. The ECU is plugged in here as well, and it also travels around the same thing. So I basically tied into this line, zip tied them together to where they're running the same way. I didn't want to have anything on top of the ECU, which is this box right here. So they even tell you not to put anything on it, especially the ducking, because of condensation and potential sweating could get down in there. So don't do that. You know, couple things. You know, this is a really good little unit, and so far it's been, you know, fairly easy to put together. You know, I commented about the knobs and the vents and everything, but really, I mean, the functionality and everything, I mean, it looks good. If you paint the shroud to the same of your dash color, it blends right in. The black knobs and such and the chrome go with the, you know, the black, you know, touches I have here and here on the truck. So, you know, really, and you can always upgrade later. They Vintage Air has upgrades for these knobs. You can get like chrome ones. you know, they have different vents that you can put in different places, modify things. So very good. So we'll move on to the other